Hey, what's up, guys? Node Investor here. Today I want to talk about an interesting question. Is it too late to invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any of the altcoins? We've seen a real big run up here in the last couple of weeks, and people are beginning to wonder, did I miss the boat? So I'm going to help you guys think through some of that today. But before I get into that topic, we'll go in that in depth. Let's take a quick look at the markets. Through April month end, here we go. Bitcoin, $1,350, holding that $1,300 mark. Bitcoin basically at all-time highs. Ethereum at $77. That's quite the move up. I called the breakout a couple days ago. We were at $52, $53, and we've had a nice little run up here. Where it goes from here, I figured we would have hit 75. We hit that pretty quickly. Will we get to 100? Time will tell. I think we will ultimately. Whether we do it in this leg has yet to be seen. Let's go back here. Sorry about that, guys, but just wanted to show you that Ethereum chart. Dash at $88, edging out a little bit, pulling back some, but it was $90 last night. Litecoin holding tight at $15. Monero edging out. I'm really liking Monero here. I'm going to look into that further this week and make a couple of videos on that one for you guys. Ethereum Classic has really surprised me, to be honest. It's just shooting up there. It was basically $2 to $3 just a couple of weeks ago. Pivx, that slide, remember I told you guys the slide looks like it was over. It seems to be there. If we break above $2, I think we're going to have a big run up on Pivx. Zcash, almost $100. Factum, basically $8. Augur, almost 20, 17.80. So that's it for the markets. Let's get into the topic, though. Is it too late to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum? Have you missed the boat? If you're not in now, should you get in? Is it too risky? Should you wait? Those are some really good questions to be asking. I'm going to go back to our friends here, coinmarketcap.com. Let's look at the total value of cryptocurrency. So before I answer the question directly, I'm going to take a step back and look at total market cap of cryptocurrency. How does that compare to other asset classes? And then we'll look at some specific issues like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth. So there's no doubt that cryptocurrency has been growing at an exponential rate over the past year or so. Like I said, 2016 began at just over $7 billion. At the start of 2017, we were at 18 billion. Here, 4 months into the year, we are now over $36 billion. So we have had a tremendous run in the last 6 to 8 months. And so let's dive in a little deeper. So here's $36 billion market cap. If you look at that chart, I mean, it's just basically going parabolic here in the last couple of weeks. The last spike on the total market cap was primarily Bitcoin when it had that big run. But now we've got a lot of more currencies that are feeding into this total value. If you look at just the altcoin combined market cap, you can see that basically is a big driver. Sat around less than a billion, hit 2 billion last summer, pretty much sat tight at around 2 billion, and then boom, here we are, $15 billion for everything but Bitcoin. So that's the altcoins. So quite the move, right? So you can see Bitcoin's percentage of the total is coming down a little bit as the other ones come online and basically give some competition to Bitcoin. Where do I think this is going? Ultimately, I think we're going to be over $100 billion market cap for cryptocurrencies. Does that mean I think we're going there this year? No, not necessarily. I think that's a longer term number. Now the question is, will Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Dash, some of these others that we're seeing right now as leaders, will these be at the top of the list when we are at $100 billion market cap? And nobody knows. That's such a long ways out. It's going to be hard to say who's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that point. So is $100 billion too far-fetched? Yeah, I mean, that's a huge number considering we were at 7 billion just last year and here we're 36 billion. Let's look at some other asset classes to see how that compares. So if we were to look at some of the big stocks out in the market right now, Amazon.com obviously provides huge value to the economy, employs thousands upon thousands of people. So it's not a apples to apples comparison, but Amazon, just one company, is worth $438.9 billion. Let's look at another one. Let's look at Apple. Apple has had a nice run here recently. They're worth $754 billion. And so if you look at just some stocks, most asset classes, when we start talking how much are they worth, they're typically talked about in the trillions. When you look at the total stock market, the total bond market, the total amount of US dollars in circulation, we're talking trillions. Very rarely do we talk billions. And here we are talking the total cryptocurrency universe, $36 billion. So I put a chart together for you guys to give a good visual. I'm a visual guy. Numbers are nice and all, but the story is told nicely in a picture. So here's a list of a handful of assets that I picked out. All cryptocurrency, Amazon, Apple, Bitcoin, all of the 30 stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, Ethereum, Facebook, the total value of all the gold mined in the world, and the total US dollars in circulation. So let's dive into this. Clearly the big bubble here is gold. You can see here the total value of gold is $8.2 trillion. That's 8,200 billion. That's a huge number. Moving on to the next one down is the top 30 stocks, right? The 30 Dow Jones stocks. $5.4 trillion total value. The total dollars in circulation, $1.5 trillion in circulation. Now that doesn't factor in that this is cash. This is hard currency in circulation. That has nothing to do with the actual dollars transacted. That runs 10, 100 times that amount. Then you look at Apple, 754 billion. Facebook is worth 426 billion. Amazon is worth 439 billion. And you can guess what these little dots in the middle are. Total cryptocurrency, $36 billion. Bitcoin, the big dog in that group, 22 billion. The next little one is Ethereum. So when you start lining up these numbers versus other asset classes, you can see why I say $100 billion is not that far-fetched. If cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is truly the groundbreaking technology that we all believe it is, we are early in this game. We are very early in this market. Cryptocurrencies will be an asset class that will rival most forex exchanges, commodities, and even stock markets. And so when I say $100 billion, I'm being conservative. I think we're going to be higher than that. But then again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen in 2017. It's going to be up and down as we march towards that direction. So did you miss the bubble? Are we too late to buy now? Or, hey, Ernie said it's going to $100 billion. Node Investors says it's going to $100 billion. That means plow into it right now. Not necessarily. You gotta remember, things come up and down. So let's go back to the charts here. Right, so I mean, if you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're at $7 billion. Ethereum started the year at just over 2 billion. So we've had a huge run up. Does this mean now is the time to invest? I would caution you, right? So let's look at some of these charts here. So if you look at Bitcoin, this is basically 2017 starts here. Big run up, big down, big up. Got pretty volatile here as the news started coming about the hard fork, the splitting. The SEC denied the ETF, but then it bottomed around $900, and since then we've been on this steady climb, and now we're at all-time highs. If you look at Ethereum, even more pronounced, right? So it's kind of hard to see at the bottom here, but we had Ethereum way down in the $10, $12, and then in March we had the big run-up, started really base out over the last couple of 4 to 6 weeks, and then here we go, boom. So I'll get into more technical analysis in some of my other videos, but the short story is you don't want to chase something, right? And that's human nature, fear of missing out. We see all the news, the excitement, and we want to jump in right here after we've had this big move. You don't necessarily want to do that. You want to catch it after what we call bases. So when it comes up and it consolidates a little bit, and you can start buying it in the consolidation. I like to buy just as it's breaking out because that signifies the next leg. And so I'm with you guys. I added some Ethereum right here to my holdings. Most of my holdings were down in these levels, but I added some more right here, and here he goes. It's running up. And so did you miss the boat? Not necessarily. Things go up, they pull back a little bit, then they start going back up again. And so I would wait for a pullback. I would wait for another setup. I would look for some bases, some moving averages to catch up. A lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about in some of the other videos. Looking at some of these other ones, right? Ripple looks like it's popping out. Dash had a big move, went from 80 to 100, bouncing down. Litecoin looks like it's about to edge out again. Ethereum Classic, again, having that monster move going from 250 basically up to $7. Monero's looking good here. Looks like it's edging out a little bit. You can zoom out and see this base that I'm talking about. Just breaking out. Probably still in buy range. And so that's the kind of thing that you want to look for. You've got to really be selective in two things. You got to be selective in which cryptocurrency you buy, but you also want to know which time to buy it at. You don't just buy it. The other criteria is your time horizon. Some people are just buying all the way up, and they just stash it away and don't look back, and that's okay because I think in the long run they'll be fine. If you're going to deploy some capital into this space and you need that capital back in the next week or the next month, you got to be a little bit more selective on what you buy when, because if you need to cash out and you happen to buy it here and then it drops on you and then you sell it, you're going to incur some losses only to watch it come back up. So I don't think you've missed the boat. If you're not in yet, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Like an old investor said, opportunities are like buses. If you miss one, just wait. There's another one coming around the corner. Until then, guys, take care. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more exciting things in the works for you guys. Bye-bye.